Okay. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Kim Baker. I'm the president and CEO of Kentucky Performing Arts. I first became involved with the organization when I was 16 years old. I was in a program called the Governor's School for the Arts, and it changed my life. And here I am, all of these years later, as the president in the organization that oversees that program. I have the best job you could have. It is my passion job. I began in the programming area many years ago, where I brought in international and national artists from all over the globe. That was the very first job I had out of school. From there, I've probably worked in just about every position you could work in at the center. and then I've been in other centers too. I've been to the Brown Theater in Lexington. I've been to Singletary, Iroquois Amphitheater. So I really love working in places that gather people together to experience exceptional arts and culture.
I'm Tamika Cornelius. I am the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for Kentucky Performing Arts. I am born and raised in Louisville, so all the field trips, all the school events led me to KPA. So I've been involved with KPA indirectly for a long time. I am new to this role because this role is new, so I am the inaugural Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I don't think anybody has a degree in DEI. You just kind of fall into it because you like it or because you're voluntold that somebody needs something done. So you're like, okay, I like people, I can do that. So when I applied for the role at KPA, I was actually working in higher education as a recruiter for graduate programs at the University of Louisville. I actually saw the post for Kentucky Performing Arts, and I thought that I would never get this role because I'm not an artist. And so I thought it was a long shot. But it was the holidays, and in higher ed, you get a lot of time off during the holidays. So I had all this time off, and I said, you know, I'm just gonna apply. I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens. And it happened. So, it's been really great at KPA, even though it's only been since April. It's just been a really good experience. Very happy to be with the organization.
I love that you got here right in time for our new strategic plan because, I mean, it's perfect. It's a perfect time for us to really put our heads together. The center and KPA has been part of this community for 40 years. Before COVID happened, you know, we had a really bold strategic plan and really venues like Old Foresters Pierce Town Hall and the Brown Theater came from that plan. It was a really exciting time with a lot of growth. You know, then of course there was a terrible fire at the center, and then COVID, you know, shut us down for a while. It's so exciting to be back and to be open at this time, and now we are so poised for growth. And as you know, when we built our plan, it's all about, for performing arts centers and venues like the center, having the most diverse artists and art forms from all over the globe. And I just think that gives us so much potential, don't you?
I think so. And one thing that I find, you know, very interesting is I wonder how people felt when the Performing Arts Center shut down. You don't really know what you've got until it's gone. And so I think that people, you know, really felt an impact. But at the same time, it allowed you to come back and, you know, really sit down and think about things and figure out where you wanted to go. Just kind of pick back up where you left off.
Well, I can tell you that when the center first reopened, you know, we welcomed everyone back, and it was really kind of strange. We weren't sure what things would be like. People had masks on, and there were such strict protocols in place. But you know what? It was so celebratory, and I had the best feeling welcoming folks from the stage. People were just on their feet, clapping, screaming. So I think I know how I felt when we weren't open, and I think I know from that experience that the community really needed us to bring people together.
Yeah. Well, also in relation to DEI, there was so much going on in the world nationally and in our city, and people coped a lot through arts. And so even though our center wasn't open, I saw a lot, you know, via social media or the news or just in my own circles of how people were coping with just everything that was going on nationally and right here in Louisville, and coping through the arts. So whether that's poetry or whether they're painting or drawing or singing or dancing, the arts still moved on. It still, kept going in various forms. And so when the center opened back up, people, I'm sure, were applauding like, we've been doing this whole time. And now, we've got even more of an outlet to be able to release and be in community with other people.
The strategic plan that we've got moving forward has so many exciting components about what kind of artists we're going to bring into the community, but also how we're going to support artists that are here in the community and really make sure that we're a place that's open for all. And we've always done that, and it's a time though to really let that sing. We started the process right when we reopened from COVID.
Okay.
So it was right before you came, a few months before you came.
And so that's what I was thinking about when I came, how intentional everything was. And it wasn't just, okay, we need to put together a strategic plan just because we need one, but it was, let's be intentional about this. And so I felt really connected because you could see like where your place was within the plan. Like everyone had something. And it wasn't just a leadership directive, but it was, we're going to incorporate the entire KPA into this strategic plan, which I think makes all the difference because everyone's on board.
Yeah, we had a lot of engagement from the community. We looked at organizations nationally that are really doing incredible things, but we really spent a lot of time listening and talking to local artists and our stakeholders throughout the Commonwealth. So I really do feel like you're right, it's got the voice of our community in the plan for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited at what the future holds, because we're 40 years old, and how our main building, of course on Main Street, can really kind of reactivate and just energize downtown, because there's so much going on downtown, and we're such a part of that. We're right in the heart of Main Street. So kind of looking at how we push forward in our programming and what the venue looks like. What is it going to look like in the next 40 years? I'm excited about that planning.
Well, and the building is so iconic. Like everyone knows what the building looks like. You got the Belvedere on the back, so people gather there for various events. So it's just been a staple, and I think especially with all the hotels and the boutique hotels popping up down there, and people are wanting to come downtown and stay and eat. So people are going to be walking around. There're going to be more foot traffic, and people are going to be peeking in to say, well, what can I do while I'm here? And I think we do a great job as well of promoting ourselves. So not waiting for people to figure out what we're doing, but really putting it out there, like this is what we're doing and this is who we're bringing and these are what our venues are looking like. And so I think that people really have an idea that we're open, we're back, we are better than ever. We've got a show almost every week. There's something for everyone.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's really hard to believe because I remember when the center opened.
It was really important when the center opened to be representative and also to have diversity as part of 40 years ago, who we were and who we are, and it was broad. I mean, it's about the diversity of Kentucky, but we had the diversity of Louisville too. We had our community members like the Black Diamond Choir that performed, which was pretty wonderful, to Lily Tomlin, who's such a wonderful Kentuckian. But I think what has been really interesting is that, flash forward 40 years, the center is there for our community and for everyone. So our board and our staff and our community came together to build this plan. And out of that really came Tamika and the job, which we just decided that we needed for diversity, equity, access, inclusion to be in everything that we do, every part of what we do, from the stage to who we work with, really the diversity of the state, making sure we're welcoming for all sorts of individuals, regardless.
It's a big undertaking to really make sure that you're weaving that into everything. And so we decided that we were going to create this role, and so that's what we did. And it's one step in a big direction.
Yeah.
There's so much work to do, though.
I know, but one thing that I really commend KPA, a lot of companies started hiring directors, DEI people during COVID to come in and fix things. And some of those folks are no longer with the organization because the company did not see their value beyond this crisis moment that we were in. Companies who value diversity excel. Being able to have this role really just shows the intention behind KPA's efforts, and that it's not just we're putting DEI on a piece of paper or in our mission statement, but we have no backing. And even though DEI is everyone's responsibility, when that's one person's focal, then you really know that the work is, being led. Sometimes people think, well, what is the impact of DEI? How can I tell, that this is something that we need? And it's because you've got folks working for you. You've got people in your organization who are different. They come from different backgrounds. They need different things. And so that's what really DEI is meant to do, is to pull those pieces together for the company to really show the employees, the volunteers, the clients, the community, that this is not only a great place to visit in regards to coming to see a show or an event, but it's a great place to work. And so I'm glad to be able to step into this role. So far with the strategic plan and the goals that have been set, thinking more about how can we work to train across the organization on unconscious bias. How can we train on, the different dimensions of diversity? How can we work to make sure that our venues are accessible? What do we think, or what do we know that our folks need in regards to equity? And so not everybody needs the same thing. And so how do we make sure that folks get what they need? And then the belonging piece. You want to come to an organization and feel like you matter. You definitely want to get, paid well and make sure you've got a paycheck, but you want to come to work and make sure I feel like I have a place here. Because sometimes when you think about the arts, you think of a certain demographic or a certain socioeconomical status. So our mission to connect and inspire through the arts, that's for everyone.